So the Premier League has begun and we have a clear title favourite. To be honest, did we expect anything less? Liverpool, great start to the season so far. Obviously, we've had some very, very tough games. Newcastle away. I think Bournemouth are going to be really good this year. And then obviously Arsenal at home. But we have 9 points. So today we're going to talk about the 5 learnings that we have got so far from Liverpool's first 3 games. And I suppose you can count the Community Shield as well. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Really appreciate all the support. Let's get into it. So, this is where we're at. First one. Liverpool, they love to score goals. So far, we've scored 8 goals, which is the most in the league, okay? And we're the best in the league in terms of creating chances. And the teams that we've actually come across, and I'll put a little screenshot up on screen now. We've actually played Newcastle, Arsenal, who have the best XG conceded in the league. So they conceded fewest amount of chances. And then Bournemouth, they're kind of up there as well. So teams that aren't conceding many chances or many goals, Liverpool have scored 8 goals against them so far in the league, which is just remarkable. I think the likes of, obviously, Ekatike has had a great start. Gakpo's had a really good start. Salah, even though his performances haven't been there, has had a really good start. So the goals are there. And then on top of that, y'all obviously have Alexander Isak to come in as well. So the amount of goals this team is going to score is going to be ridiculous. I know that game against Arsenal, you can say maybe didn't create too many chances, but I think that was more because of Arsenal than it was because of Liverpool. So just think, this Liverpool team, they are going to create absolute bucket loads of chances. And I think that's something that we should be excited about, because for me, football is about enjoying the sport. I couldn't imagine how difficult it is watching Arsenal week in, week out, and a team that wants to set up and be better defensively than a team like Liverpool, who just want to go out and try and score as many goals as possible. When we were kind of Liverpool were on the up and Klopp had the 4-3s, the 5-4s, whatever it was. Yes, it is very tough on the heart. But yeah, at the end of the day, if you get the 3 points, it's enjoyable. And I think I'd much rather a 4-3 than a 1-0. So take it out what you will. But I think goal scorer, this team has it in abundance. And then Isak coming into it, we're going to score more. Moving on to point number 2. Tactical flexibility. This team has a lot of tactical flexibility. Slot, as we've seen last season, he is a master tactician. And just some of the changes that we've seen. So he's put Dom into right back, which obviously with Frimpong being injured, Bradley obviously was coming back from his injury too. And we needed someone that can come in and play in that position. And there was talk of potentially maybe putting Endo there, Curtis Jones, with Dominic Szoboszlai. And he's come out and said that pre-season that we had against Stoke, that was the first time he's ever played right back in his career. And he got man of the match against Newcastle, man of the match against Arsenal, and obviously the goal winner against Arsenal. He's so much about him. And it feels like right back is almost the perfect position for him right now. I'm going to come on to the midfield in a little bit, but I don't know. I feel like with this midfield, it's kind of like McAllister, Gravenberch, Wirtz, and maybe let me know in the comments what you think. I feel like that is the midfield that will most likely be used throughout the season. Now, we have a lot of games, so there will be a lot of flexibility in that. And I don't know. I think the question marks have been raised about Dom and whether he fits into this team as a starting player. But I think the quality he's shown so far in the league and the start that he's had to the campaign has been unbelievable. But tactical flexibility is what we have. And some of the other additions, Kirkez, he is someone last year was playing predominantly as an attacking left back. But this season, what we've seen from him is he's actually come in and played a little bit as a left centre back. Now, he hasn't been good in all the games. I think Arsenal was probably his best game, but I think against Newcastle and Bournemouth, he struggled a little bit, especially against the pace of Semenyo and Elanga. But it is something that we can do, and we can maybe change that where maybe Gravenberch sits in and Van Dijk plays as the left centre-back, and then you have a 3-man centre-back. Kirkez is able to bomb on. There's a lot of different options with this Liverpool team, and I think Slot is just trying to figure out what exactly works, and we will see Liverpool play a lot of different formations throughout the season as things progress, because that's what we can do. And then the other thing then is Wirtz, Ekatike interchanging, Gakpo as well, and obviously Isak coming into the fold now. I think this team, the one thing you can always say about Liverpool is the forwards that they bring in, they're always interchangeable. I think Wirtz, Ekatike and Isak coming to that is something that they will do. I think it's been something that has been a foundation of having us as a really good team, a team that loves to score goals, loves to go forward. And I think just the quality that we've brought in with those 3 players alone is just going to help that in enormous amounts. And I just think Slot knows how to win games. He knows how to change things. We've seen it against Arsenal. They obviously went with a 2-man press in the first half, and then in the second half, we changed it into a 3-man centre-back with Gravenberch dropping in, and they weren't able to press us as much. We were able to play through the lines, and that's where the goal came from with Van Dijk able to pass the ball into Curtis Jones, who won the free kick. Szoboszlai scored it then. So there's so much going on in terms of tactical flexibility for this team. Moving on to point number 3. The midfield is still developing and kind of easing into a little bit of what I was talking about there. So this is a new look Liverpool, and I think we are going to see a lot of gaps in this team. I really do, especially at the start of the year, just because with that midfield, so we talked about Dom at right back, with the midfield of Gravenberch, McAllister, and Vert, it's slightly unbalanced. Taking Szoboszlai out of that, you take his work rate, his energy off the ball. Vert is someone who he'll get on the ball a lot and he'll have a lot of good moments. And I think we're yet to see an incredible moment from Vert, but I think those moments will come. But he doesn't give you that physicality that Szoboszlai does. And McAllister and Gravenberch, for as good as they are, they're not going to be able to cover that amount of ground, especially against the better teams. So I think from what we're trying to figure out, I think the solution potentially could be to see Kerkez step in, or like we're seeing with Szoboszlai, stepping into the right back, from right back or left back into midfield, and then having a box midfield is something that we could see. And I know Frimpong and Bradley are going to be coming back, but I wouldn't be surprised if Szoboszlai does stay in that right back role for a little bit longer because of how successful it has been against Newcastle and Arsenal. So it'll be interesting to see what way he does work out, but I think the midfield is developing and it'll be interesting to see how it does develop. Until then, I think there will be a little bit of gaps that teams will be able to expose in this team, but it's exciting times because I think there's a lot of mixing and matching that we can do with that. So very exciting from that side. Moving on then, number 4. Rivals are struggling. Arsenal and Man City, you would say, are going to be our rivals. Chelsea was something that maybe you could have a title charge. I know they're obviously, they've had a good start to the season in terms of points, but performances probably haven't there. But I think Arsenal and Man City are definitely the closest rivals. Man City, and I keep on saying this, they are not going to be in a title race this season in terms of what the expectations of them are. I think they haven't addressed their issues that we've obviously seen last season. If you look at right back, Rico Lewis, Mateus Nunes, obviously they're bringing in Donnarumma. What way is that going to work in terms of playing out from the back? Are they still going to want to play that way? Left back, Aiton Uri has done okay, but he doesn't probably bring the physicality that you need from a Man City defensive line because of the way they play nowadays. They usually play with 4 centre-backs is what we've seen from Guardiola in recent seasons. Centre-back, they have a lot of issues. Akanji's obviously moved. Ruben Diaz, John Stones, can they say Fick? Vardiol picks up a lot of injuries. And I just think the question marks over, like say, Rodri coming into the team. Reinders had a good game against Wolves, but wasn't the best against Brighton and Spurs. Then forward areas, they need to create chances for Haaland. They're not doing that right now. Are they going to be able to do that? There's a lot of question marks over this Man City team. And I do think Arsenal are going to be the biggest challengers. Let me know what you think. Who's going to be the biggest challengers in the Premier League this season? I think most people are going to have Arsenal, but let me know what you think. Arsenal, listen, do you know what? Against Liverpool, I was actually disappointed by Arsenal. And I'll give you my rationale as to why that is. I think there's so much about this Arsenal team that I really, really like. And they actually let me down against Liverpool in terms of, I think this Liverpool team, and we've seen it against Bournemouth and Newcastle, you can get at them. You 100% can. And Arsenal went into that Liverpool game with Arteta mentality to not lose. And I really do think if they had had the bravery to go on and try and test Liverpool, they would have got results. Now, listen, they could have easily lost as well. At Anfield, they could have got the crowd up and they could have conceded chances. But I think back your defenders in 1v1 situations. Like I know Saliba went off, but Mosquera came in, did really well. Timber is one of the best 1v1 defenders in the league. Gabriel is one of the best 1v1 defenders in the league. Then you have Rice, who's very combative. Zubamendi is obviously good. And then they had Marino in there as well. Like, go at Liverpool. Go at Liverpool. That's the one thing I'm disappointed. And I think that will be their undoing throughout the season. Because I think when you really have to go gung-ho and try and get a win, especially in bigger games, I don't think Arteta will do that. I think he'd rather lose and then fight another day. And sometimes you need to just go for it. And it helps with momentum as well. I just don't think our rivals are strong enough right now. Then on into the last point. Perfect start. Liverpool, in my opinion, they have not got up and running yet. Like, let me know what you think. Have Liverpool been performing to what you think they have? They haven't got up and running, in my opinion. They still have issues that they're trying to figure out, as I've said, but They have 9 points out of the first 3 games, 8 goals scored, the most in the league. Yes, you could say about they've obviously conceded goals, but they've just kept a clean sheet against their biggest rivals and are now 3 points ahead of them. And yeah, I just think this Liverpool team, that once they actually click into gear and once they actually find out like players like Vert, Isak, I know Ekatike's had a good start, maybe Kirkes, once they start performing, Frimpong's to come back into it. Once they start performing, think about the levels that they could reach. It's not just about the Premier League that they're going after. It's the Champions League. It's the FA Cup. It's the Carabao Cup. This team will have their eyes set on so much. Even I haven't even spoke about Salah. Salah hasn't had the best start to the season, but imagine he clicks into gear and the goals that he'll offer. They have so much weapons at their disposal and they haven't even gotten out of second gear. And that's what I would be worried about if I was a rival fan, because the fact that they're already on 9 points and they haven't even got moving is mind-boggling. And they've played Newcastle and Arsenal, and they're going to be 2 of the toughest games. Newcastle away, Arsenal home, and then obviously Arsenal away when it comes to it. But they've already played 2 of their toughest games of the season and they've got 9 points. So for me, I just think if I was a rival fan looking at that, I'd be worried because it just shows how good this team could be. But let me know what you think in the comments. As always, if you enjoyed the content, I really do appreciate any support. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe, and I shall see you all on the next one. Cheers, guys.